Herzlich willkommen bij een neues update. And today we're going to discuss a new all-time high for Bitcoin, as we're seeing some strength here and the altcoins are not showing strength, and that's most likely what we're going to see succeed, because Bitcoin is the one that is currently taking the momentum with this big breakout above 64k. We're going to discuss that. But before we're going to continue, do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this YouTube update, and check out my Twitter and Instagram where you can find daily content on the markets. Bitcoin has finally bounced from the crucial level and starting to get some momentum. It had to break out of that narrow range, which we'll be discussing in a little bit. But what is most likely going to be next for Bitcoin after this beautiful retest? That's quite normal. Well, actually, I think it's going to be 75k or potentially even 90k. It is the Fibonacci extension from this entire impulse wave, which gives us this entire zone that we have here around 88k as a next impulse for the markets. I don't really mind if we get that far. I think I'll be already taking profits or starting to take profits when we get around that 75 to 80k level. Overall, the good part is that what we needed to get continuation going on the markets was a retest around 75.5k, and that is actually what has been taking place here in order to have momentum going further from there. So in order to get the momentum going or to keep the market structure, we had to have that rebound or that bounce from 58k. We've experienced it. And now we are facing continuation in which most likely a new all-time high will be hit during the week. Looking at the lower time frames, I think that's going to show more structure at this point, is that we discussed the fact of losing 64k as a support, in which we turned as resistance once again. Since then we have been chopping around south. The entire region around 61k was lost, and then you know that if you're watching my videos, if you want to see continuation happening, a regain is usually a trigger for continuation. You see that price has been acting beneath, regains the level and starts getting momentum upwards here, and from the fact that we've had 3 or 4 tests of the 64k level already, the breakout upwards was quite likely to expect, given the fact that we had so many tests happening in the previous week already. Good part as well, price has not been dropping further towards 59k or 60k again. If that would be happening and the price has been showing weakness overall, I think we would have been crashing all the way back towards 56k and that would be quite scary for the markets, given the fact that then you're getting into that crucial higher time frame levels, initiating potential further downwards momentum to the market. And then you also would have had the discussion of plan B being wrong once at this point, and that the fact that plan B is going to be wrong is probably going to trigger people to become emotional in the market, and therefore they start selling off their position. So I'm quite satisfied with the fact that we couldn't really break through or couldn't break all the way down towards that region, and we actually broke back above 64k at this stage. Now, what is next to happen? Well, we're getting back towards the all-time high region, so I'm not assuming that we are actually going to see continuation or strength at this point, especially given that the RSI is also exceeding on lower time frame levels, or lower time frames towards levels that are quite high. I'm looking to see ourselves getting a retest, and then the first level we're looking at is 64k, but we also might be wicking all the way back towards 62 high, as then we are flipping the previous resistance zone for support, but then we most likely have to swiftly get back into the range above 64k for 64k. What's also a case here is that there's still an open CME gap at 61.3. So the price has been accelerating quite nicely. However, we are not seeing, or we are seeing a CME gap at this stage, which did not close yet. Do we have to actually close the CME gap at this stage? We might, but then we're going to face ourselves some longer consolidation before we're going to see continuation. The actual close of the CME gap is going to depend on the fact whether Bitcoin is going to hold above 63.6 or 62.5. So I'm assuming we're going to get that retest happening here when it comes to Bitcoin. But are we going to see a bounce from 64k? Then I'm not sure whether we're going to get a close of that CME gap. Looking at Ethereum at this point, we're still following the case at this stage. Nice grind upwards. However, it starts to become quite vertical. We are already up almost 2x since any correction has been taking place. So I'm assuming that once we get towards the area of 75k of Bitcoin and probably Ethereum around 5k, we're going to get a corrective notion before the real big season starts to happen in Q1 of 2022. Ethereum against Bitcoin selling off because of the fact that Bitcoin against USDT is breaking out right now, and you can see across the altcoin markets when we're looking at Cardano too, new lows are being made. So I'm still very cautious when it comes to hitting altcoins too much. Later today I'll be making a new update and then I'll be discussing some altcoins. Do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and I'll see you again soon.